Right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of this match, let's take a look at the bracket because it is a big one and we need to see the scores. We already had one of the matchups. We already had the first one, Team Liquid victorious, and they're seeded into the top 6 in the upper bracket, as you can see, with TNC dropping, unfortunately for them, and they're waiting for their opponent, which is going to be either VGJ Storm or Infamous. And then we are having the pleasure of talking about Secret versus Optic. Winner of this will move forward to face Team Liquid. Oof. Loser will go up against either Team Spirit or Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, that's quite the... I mean, this is going to go 3 games. I said that about the last one as well. So I'm sure it's going to be a complete stomp.
Absolutely.
And it'll be for the incorrect team that I pick as well. I think Secret is generally a better team, but they're kind of wishy-washy, I feel like. Optic definitely have a little bit more hunger. Secret started off the season extremely hot. I think they were top of DPC for quite a while. They haven't really won anything. They haven't really done much since.
Yeah.
It's not like they've placed horrendously, but it hasn't been great either. So
you kind of look back and you're like, oh, Dream League was a major. Oh, that was a lot of points. And you're just kind of way up there for the rest of the year. So feels good.
Yep.
Feels real good.
Team Secret, very difficult to read. You were the one that said that earlier, Trent?
Yeah, it feels that way. You know, trying to judge like exactly where they are right now in terms of standings with other teams, and you're not really sure. I don't know.
And even when you look at their drafts and how they're playing, it's like, are they just experimenting, or are they going all out and trying everything they can do to win this tournament and, you know, walk away with first place, a lot of prize money, a lot of prestige, but they're at TI. It just feels like some of their drafts, you know, let's just first pick a Phoenix. Let's try something new.
They have been playing different heroes than any other team here. We've seen a lot of Skywrath. We've seen Vengeful Spirit supports almost all games that they've played.
Arc Warden, yes, that's the other one. There's definitely a level of experimenting. I mean, Secret Puppy, this guy doesn't like to lose, so he's trying to win while experimenting, but it's... Once you get down to the playoffs games, I wonder how much they're going to refine their picks or if they're going to keep on going back to these fringe heroes.
All right, now let's talk about Optic. Optic has a lot to prove here. Obviously, coming second in the previous major was great, but according to quite a few people, they did have the bracket and the format on their side, which in this case, you know, it's very different because this format is a lot more elaborate and there's no favorable bracket, sort of. But there it kind of is, and in the case of Optic, I guess, you know, they don't need to face Virtus.pro or LGD if they win here until the top 4, until they're already in the top 4, but it's still pretty scary.
Kind of a Secret than Liquid. They are, in some sense, 2 best-of-3s away from TI. If they win both of those, they finish top 4, which leaps them over VGJ Thunder. Thunder could have a lower bracket run, but theoretically winning 2 best-of-3s, Optic qualifies.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to believe, honestly, that they're like so close. It feels like it's like within reach, but that's still a tough ask to go through.
I mean, it's all in the cards here.
Yeah,
they weren't invited to this. Or they didn't qualify for this event.
They Suns fan their way in.
They're gonna make it, man. I really have a feeling, but I do like their team, and they're a bit one-dimensional sometimes because you have Pycat on these really hard carries. CCNC.
They're 3-3 save us. Nita, please.
CCNC doesn't carry the game. Like, he's just like this. He's almost like a sacrificial mid in a lot of ways. They put a really tanky hero that's just not going to take over at any point, but it works for them in a lot of these games.
It's funny because it feels like when he was coming in, I thought he was going to be the flashy mid. You know, when you watched him in pubs, that's where he started. It was all the Storm, the TA. Yeah, and that's where it all began. But now he's become a super.
Yes.
He's like that kind of a player for your team.
And it's working because the game they lost yesterday, he was playing a Storm Spirit, and I was like, ooh, you know, he's a great Storm. That's the hero he's known for in pubs, but it doesn't work when he's playing with Optic.
Yeah, I think maybe in just like the professional sphere, it's a lot easier, or like teams are just better at like pressuring, right? You're way more coordinated as a team, and you can identify who the threat is this game, shut them down. And especially when it's in the mid lane, it's like, all right, let's just send 5 heroes mid.
And I think yesterday they wouldn't have gotten through it all without 33. He was an absolute beast, especially on Axe. That kid has been unbelievable the last couple months.
Star player. I heard Kyle say that every team needs a star player, and I think that Optic got one in 33. Now, before the game started, before the panel started, I asked Trent who his favorite featured matchup would be, and it was the carry positions. Pycat with a decade-long history, and arguably playing the best games of his year, of his times.
I was shocked when they said that he had never won a LAN.
Right?
I know. Isn't that unbelievable?
I couldn't. There's no way that's true. I had to look it up myself. I'm like, that's insane. I mean, in Dota 1 even, they didn't really have that many LANs, I guess, but still, that is a long history.
Crazy, right?
It's not like he's been bad either, right?
He's been at majority of the TIs. He's been on like top 1, top 2 European teams.
But I think in terms of like a matchup thing, they kind of provide similar and yet different sort of situations. Like I think you could say Ace is a little bit more versatile. He can bring out these like weirder heroes. It's been a while, but he hasn't popped out that Meepo in a while. But he can provide you something like the Visage play he can go for. He can go in towards something like that Arc Warden that we've seen. So, you know, a little bit of like more of a wild card flavor, whereas Podcat we've kind of discussed is maybe one-dimensional is it sounds like a bad term. He's a little one-dimensional, but it works, right? Like he's just lowest deaths almost this entire year. It's felt like when you watch his games.
He carries the game.
Yeah.
It feels very impactful when he plays these Morphlings or
They don't try and hide it. They're like, listen, Podcat's going to do it, and then he does it.
And he's going to be very stable and consistent. He doesn't throw games as well. When they're losing games, it's normally because their other lanes, their other players get run over, and the game just snowballs out of control. Podcat always seems to be putting up very consistent, steady performance.
So which team have you guys got pegged as a favorite here? Sounds fun. I know you like to go for the underdog, but who is the actual underdog
I think
here?
Optic is the underdog.
Yeah?
But I do think they're going to win.
Hey.
You see?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to be very draft dependent, which I guess you could say for almost any game. But I don't think it's like heavily favored in either direction as far as just team compositions go. Maybe a little bit momentum on Optic's side because they didn't even qualify to this event, and now they're super hyped about it. They really need it. So
Hungry.
we'll see if that ends up being a factor at all.
What do you think, Trent?
I'm kind of leaning towards Secret. I feel like
Disagree with
because
me.
of that whole
Yes, feed into it.
no matter what
Yes.
you said.
Yes.
So in that mid matchup with mid one versus CCNC, if they have trouble finding that pressure on the mid one, he's the guy who can carry these games for Secret. And so if you have this person who's kind of like the sponge in your mid lane versus the person who's going to be carrying the games, that can be a real problem for you. And unless they have something like the Zai Chen, I worry about their ability to actually pressure into that mid lane. You know, I feel like that has to be a very big priority for Optic during these matches.
Yeah, I'll also slightly lean towards Secret, and I think because of how important the draft is between these teams, I find it hard to draft against Secret. You don't know what they're going to play. Normally you look at one of these big tier 1 teams and you think there's this one star player who's super flexible with his hero pool. You know, like that's Miracle for Liquid, but Matu, you know he's going to play. With Secret, it's both mid 1 and ace. They both play like an insane number of heroes. They play stuff you're not used to versing. If something Optic's versing, an Arc Warden, a Meepo, a Klinks, like they haven't versed these heroes in competitive Dota. I think those are going to kind of throw Optic off a bit.
Yeah, because what are the contested heroes for this matchup? There's like,
Yeah, they don't.
right?
They don't have a very.
Klinks is very contested right now.
but they don't really overlap.
The Venn diagram is not very strong in the center
No.
between these two teams. No.
I don't think Secret overlaps with many teams. Though.
It's true.
They're just like their Venn diagram circle is like really big.
It's over here. Everyone else is just kind of chilling in this big cesspool. But
Can I bring up something super random?
please.
Sure.
So when I was putting together teams back in the day, I had 2 players that were #1 on my list. They were tied.
Okay.
Because they're so flexible, they're so easy to work with. They can put it with any player, and it'll be fine. That's Zai and Yapzor. They are my all-time favorite players, I think, from an outside perspective. Because
All right.
like captains, great captains. They're far and few between, right? There's not many, but specific captains work with specific players, and Zai and Yapzor just work with everybody. It's just unbelievable. Of course, this is during a time when position 4 was a little bit more impactful than it is now, but
But I still think it
But
goes
still.
for the same. Yeah. I mean, that is definitely a matchup to watch. It was a tough choice for Trent, actually, to decide between which featured matchup we would see.
it's going to be a good series. That's what it means.
It
So,
definitely will be.
So who'd you get instead?
Weeha.
All right, I'll allow that. That's not bad.
No, Sox is up there too. Sox is real good.
Yes. All right, draft time. We've got Optic already banning out the IO, the Bane removed by Secret. So far, nothing out of the ordinary just yet.
Look out for some Chen maybe this series. That's a hero both teams play. Optic particularly favor it a lot. And I think something Secret may be considering banning in some of these games, if not chancing a puppy Chen.
Who'll get their hands on Death Prophet? Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, good for you. Secret is not actually playing Death Prophet.
That means
Optic is, though.
Yeah, that's CCNC's hero.
Optic will maybe not first to pick it if CCNC's heroes aren't banned, but sometimes you'll see like a Lash ban with something else, and then they're like, okay, we need to pick his hero early because there's limited options.
There's the Chen ban as well.
What are you trying to say?
So I think
His hero pool is smaller. There's a certain small hero pool he plays, so once you see your heroes being banned, you're like, shit, we got to grab one.
Yeah.
we're
before
kind
it's
of
gone.
into the Sand King now then, right? I guess with like the Chen being gone, I feel like he kind of gets elevated right to the top when I think of Zai lately in terms of good games. I don't know how reliable the Tusk is. Maybe in this specific sense where we're thinking about targeting the mid lane, that could be a good option for them. But it's kind of something they've shied away from.
5 seconds remaining.
ET's been another hero we've seen a few times in his hands. Less sold on that compared to the Sand King you mentioned. I also still really like Naga. These are not big Naga playing teams, but Naga
I
still
mean,
feels...
Puppy.
Yes.
Maybe not lately, but certainly in terms of the old some Buckler Dota.
Historically
out.
speaking, Naga Siren before T. Is it every single TI at this point? Like,
Yeah, she just comes
on,
back
man.
every time.
Come on.
Yeah, that hero's just a little bit too ridiculous, especially now with like
10
the
seconds
flawless
remaining.
meteor hammering that you can perform. Don't have to worry
Yes.
about it once again. Ice
Those-
Frog, please. I don't know what you do about that though.
remaining.
People are just gonna keep doing the math on the ticks. Then what can you do? right?
Radiant team pick.
All right.
There's the Skyrath.
All right. Good old secret.
I like how they are prepared for that in some sense though, because they do take care of the axe. So they're not gonna let them do this axe Skyrath ridiculous spam lane situation. But Doom is still left in the pool, which we've also seen to be pretty good, even with the nerfs.
And they do play Skyrath on both mid 1 and Japstor. It's not like it's a one-dimensional pick for them, so we can see it in multiple roles.
10 seconds.
I could see
remaining.
Optic, like, first two picking a Warlock here. It's proven to be a pretty good 5-position hero with the
5
sustain
seconds
against these
remaining.
Skyrath-type lanes. And something PPD just loves to play right now.
I think it's like the epitome hero for PPD. Like now the Dazzle kind of, that used to be a pretty big one for him because he'd kind of lurk in that perfect spot and go for the grave. But with Warlock, it's just dumb. Like the positioning is so much less important. You can be so far away from the fight and this ultimate is just broken. It just completely wins any team fight that someone tries to bring into you that you can bring down that reign of chaos.
And
So-
if they ignore you, you've got other ultimates. Fatal Bonds and Upheaval are
Yeah.
amazing
10
spells.
seconds remaining.
He is a hell of a hero right now. So yeah, I would have to agree. He's been the go-to answer against Skyrath
5
Mage. I would be a little
seconds
surprised if they didn't opt for it.
Just pick Death Prophet. Get it
They,
over with.
they might do that as well.
That's
yeah.
a fair
Yeah.
point.
Just
There's
get
some
it over
pressure
with,
there.
Optic. We know you're going to pick it.
Because you can go back for like the Witch Doctor instead, who's kind of like the poor man's Warlock in terms of that sustain lane versus the Skyrath spam.
By the end of the tournament, no one will be picking Death Prophet. That's my prediction.
You think so?
Or
It's like a third.
They're beating her into the ground here?
Like 37.
it was before
It's below
today.
30%
It was
now.
Yeah, and below 30 because
Must be.
but TNC played it in both their games.
I think VP will still be picking it just because they're that good. They win with it. But
Yeah.
It
everyone
reminds
else,
me of Razor
yeah.
from TI5, I want to say. Only a couple teams really played it well. Everybody was playing and they just lost, so the percentages were way off. Go for a like it.
First two.
Underlord, yes!
Wow, and there was no hesitation for that either.
Yeah, you got to address that. Like, and the second it comes out, you know, this is a hero that Optic's going to build their game plan around. It's even stronger because of the Night Stalker. You're playing more often at night. The Howl gets that much more powerful. You need to deal with Lycan, either like a direct counter pick like the Bloodseeker or an Underlord type hero with heavy damage mitigation.
All right, now you need a nighttime team, right? You need Slark, Sniper. Sniper just
Yeah,
got
you
that
gotta
huge
think about that vision.
1400 vision at night. Who else is it? There's a couple more. Not to put
Spirit
everybody-
You get
Breaker has
some-
a nighttime
You get some
talent.
Luna going.
Talent,
Winter
yeah.
Wyvern has the talent. That's also
Okay.
a counter
Is
to,
Luna,
to
Luna
Lycan.
having
Yeah,
nighttime things?
Luna.
Yep.
Dude, a Puppy Wyvern. That actually sounds all right here. You know, against a Night Stalker and a
Why not
Lycan.
just bring back the puppy Lycan jungle? Like, just go
Why-
full circle.
Why jungle
Oh, wait,
anything?
it's not even the wrong team. Forget about it. I do miss
55%.
jungling, though. I do have to say.
This whole season.
What?
55%. His inaugural season in Dota, of course. The,
That's a good.
the
I've
fresh
always
one.
liked this hero. I mean, back in the day, Firestorm used to work on buildings. Of course, now it takes that talent. But I like him.
I like that he's only in, you know, a good 20-ish% of games. There were some where
Yeah.
you saw the stats and it was like Gyro, DK, 50% plus picked and banned. I was like, okay, that's a bit too high.
A little bit too rich for my blood.
So you need a little bit more setup for Mystic Flare, I'm assuming. Pit of Malice, not exactly the greatest.
There's some threat of like Chrono still, I think, throughout the game, of course, with the Skyrath Mage, kind of a classic one, and as expected, the old Warlock will be gone. Disrupt are a bit of an interesting band, though, in terms of just like that classic sustain idea. One of the weaker position 5 laners, but still so threatened by the hero.
Yeah, Optic picked it once
Yeah.
in a game against Thunder. They won with it, but
And versus the ultimate from the Pit Lord, I think that's just the idea, right?
Yeah.
Just like,
Well, and I think on top of that, you're looking at
10
what does
seconds
Optic's first two picks lack, and it's like disable control, some way to like even
5
initiate in a
seconds
sense, and
remaining.
Disruptor provides that.
yeah, it's true. You don't need the sustain if you just kind of kill the threat lane, right? You have a Night Stalker and someone else just kind of bullying over and over.
Radiant team pick.
is Sand King still an option for Optic?
I think it's, well, I guess if it's
Okay.
the 3/3
be.
Night Stalker.
It
Yeah.
depends on who's playing Night Stalker, right?
Yeah.
So we got an Ogre Magi ban. One of the few teams that plays Ogre is Secret.
I have to say, 3/3 on the Night Stalker has been better than I expected in terms of like, I looked at him to try and carry this game, and I feel like that's a hard hero to like really try and do a lot. And he was like 6-1 and 7 to start one of the games
He
earlier.
normally plays the Lycan though, so if they're doing Night Stalker
Sometimes.
core,
Yeah,
okay.
it's true. If they're doing both, but in terms of like when he is given that Night Stalker,
Yeah.
I feel like the way that he moves the hero, but So we'll get our Witch Doctor because, again, just like replaces Warlock. It works with
good
the
call.
heal. But that is a good point because like the 3/3 Lycan, he is unbelievable in his farming patterns on that hero. Like he just gets Necro 3 at like 11 minutes. If he's left alone, you have to address him.
The Witch Doctor laning solution a little bit to the Underlord. You've got Maledict. It's okay.
10 seconds
Not like
remaining.
a huge fan of Witch Doctor right now with the new Maledict cooldown.
5 seconds remaining.
He's been a little
Radiant
underwhelming.
team
It's a bit
pick.
different, but I think his heal was also still a very strong ability, and so now we're just going back to it. Like, you can still have a kill threat every 50 seconds. It's not that bad, honestly, in terms of like the way TPs work and like how people are rotating through lanes. It's not awful, but if you build more into the heal, it kind of works out. You're like 2-2-1 at 5 or whatever.
Yep.
So,
The Puppy Venge coming out.
possibly.
Well, they
10
played it 3
seconds
times
remaining.
earlier.
But, I mean, that's
I
what
get-
they're baiting you in.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
5
Just
seconds
wait.
remaining.
I
They're
don't know.
just trying to
Position-
up their
Position 1
arsenal.
Venge? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying now?
Yeah.
That was the DC Misery play at TI.
That's
you know,
right.
Pick these heroes. Oh, you know, that's going to
Yeah.
be a support or a core. Oh,
I mean,
wait, surprise.
That was basically just Naga.
Now,
It was
mind
one-
you, you know what
And Slaughter.
Secret have done before is
Was it?
mid one on the Underlord, and they used to do Kezu on the Venge. They would run an off-lane dual lane back in the day.
Oh,
The
yes.
Radiance Underlord. See, Puppy is on so many levels right now, guys. Can't even
In
keep
Sometimes
up.
he
So-
trips himself up, though.
Well, yeah,
From
I
time
mean,
to
that's
time.
part
every
of it.
other drafter, so.
That's a lot of steps when you're going up that many
Yeah,
levels. You
that's-
can't afford the elevator. You know, it's tough.
Understandable.
You know, Sunspan doesn't walk up escalators. Fun fact.
Okay,
Guys, wanna write that
so
down?
let's take a poll on the panel here.
But
Okay.
escalators go up by themselves.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you,
That's
Shiver.
why you're not. Well,
Thank you, Shiver.
What about travelators at airports, the flat ones?
Of
Do you
course you
walk on
will.
oh,
those?
you
Yes.
walk on those.
Oh, that would be
Yes, yes.
embarrassing if you don't.
Yeah.
Like,
So
come
Trent
on.
was making fun of me because we're on an actual escalator that goes up.
Dude,
Right?
it was like
And
a
I stood
40-second
still.
escalator.
All right. Ever since then,
Such
ever
a
since
waste of time.
I've been taking a mental note of how many people I've seen actually walk up them. It's like 2.
There's not
out
that
of
many.
1,000.
No, the only people that do that are the people that are in a hurry.
Yeah.
I
You know,
know.
if
Trent's
you,
always
if you
in a
need to
hurry.
catch a train
I
or
guess.
something.
Just admit you're
Just
wrong for
admit
once,
you're
Trent.
you're just walking. Just walk. Why do you gotta stand still?
Because it takes
You can't
a lot
walk.
of work.
All right.
It takes a lot of work to
walk.
walk.
Escalators are pretty dangerous. You should
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
advise caution
You
when
got some
walking up and
Crocs
down
on,
them.
you
Plus,
know.
you don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
touch the
5
side. Those are
seconds
disgusting. They're
remaining.
Yep.
infested with just so many
True.
diseases.
You know
Yeah.
what's dangerous? A Wind Ranger for
Radiant
Optic.
team back.
Shiva Reina's back in. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dual lane with Wind Ranger
Stay
and
on
Night
track.
Stalker looks pretty brutal, but Secret immediately respond by picking up a carry that can kind of sustain some pressure with the PL. Also could be flexible going mid lane, but much more likely we'll see PL safe lane as a attempted answer to this strong dual lane.
I think Wind Ranger is kind of like the escalator of Dota 2. You know, some people go up, some people go down. Don't know where I'm going. I was like, oh, this could be a good analogy, but boy, I shit the bed with that one.
Didn't end up paying out.
Wind
No.
Ranger, yeah.
All right. Hey, look, Death Road
Wow.
is banned. Guess what?
Oh, thank
Nice.
God. They banned it so
Amazing.
CCNC would not play it, I guess. I don't know.
He may play Wind Ranger mid is the other thing.
Yeah, it could be.
That's-
Sure.
I mean, it seems to be, but
We've only seen it as support so far this weekend, right?
I've only
I feel
seen
like there must have been one, but yeah, every
Liquid
time I've
played
seen
it
it,
as
it's
support.
support.
Sort of as a core, like going back to
10
Epicenter,
seconds
but
remaining.
not here.
No.
So if they do swap
5 seconds remaining.
33 Netta over to the Lycan, I guess typically that means Pycat or CCNC is playing like the offlane type hero. Pycat's played Axe before. I've seen CCNC even swap to the offlane hero, like playing a Sand King, I recall. Wonder if that's maybe going to be like a 3-position Wind Ranger. That's something CCNC can definitely play.
Radiant team pick.
And the DK to
Oh.
close it out.
Now that is tempting to send your Lycan mid at that point. Once that matchup is kind of shown, you're just like, okay, we can put the Lycan there. We can be a little bit greedier on the side lanes.
You
And
like
get
the draft?
your- For the DK pick?
No, yeah, just for secret.
It's a very
It's a secret
normal
draft.
secret draft. No, you got a PLDK. It is a secret draft, but it's like not. Where's the surprise pick? They
Where's
didn't
the
really get it. Yeah.
We want that Clinks this series for sure.
How boring.
Yep. I want to see a Clinks versus Wind Ranger matchup.
Oh,
One Wind
yeah.
running the other straight thing. Nobody hitting anyone.
Very exciting.
Oy.
Ember.
Now
Okay.
select
All
your
right, I'm
heroes.
taking Secret.
You don't like the
faith?
Ember?
Nah, not this game. I mean, they might win the series, but I like Secret's draft a little bit more this time around.
Zaya plays a very good Wind Ranger from what I've seen. And that is a scary lane with the Wind Ranger plus Night Stalker.
Yeah, it's true. Pycat on the Night Stalker taking that 3 roll here, so indeed will be interesting. I don't know, do we get the Zai? Is he a Meteor Hammer builder on that Wind Ranger? I've been a fan of that.
I haven't
Kind
seen
of
the Meteor
enjoyable.
Hammer yet.
It's-
I hope
it's
so, though.
something. Yeah, see if that goes.
That sounds.
Ooh, look how even these
like
Twitter predictions are, by the way.
Yeah, I tell you.
If you want to get in on
Wow.
that, by the way,
NA's awake, by the way, in case you were wondering.
it's PGL Esports is the Twitter account you should be checking out. Also use hashtag Supermajor if you want to tweet about it. And that is pretty split, pretty evenly split.
Yeah.
I know Sunsfan already wants to go for Secret.
NA's awake, so I got to pander to the North American audience out there and go with Optic.
All right,
Okay.
peer
I like
pressure.
Optic's drop better. Right, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Everything is Impossible and go with Team Secret. That's good.
All right,
I
we
feel
got-
like the PL has a nice game setup, honestly.
I feel like this could be this will be a fun one. We already predicted this would be an even matchup. Let's find out how even it exactly is going to be. Is it going to be a bloodbath with Kyle and Toby? Let's find out.
I don't know if Shiva is saying we are the cause of a bloodbath.
I don't think so. Not yet, at least.
That,
I have to spend a few more days in a room with you. We'll see.
well, luckily we're not in a room. We're in a corridor. Yeah.
Yeah, there's witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Then all the lights turn off because we blew a fuse, and all of a sudden, death is all around us. Let's get into the game because Optic versus Team Secret. We didn't get the hype matchup we thought we were going to get in the first series today, so I'm looking forward to second series.
Yep.
It's the balance, right? It's the karma. Game first series that you think, okay, there's going to be really good TNC's going to step up to the mark, and then all of a sudden, no, they don't. So now, it's Secret Optic. They will step up to the mark. They will give us an all-out, action-packed game. Tell me it's true, Kyle. Tell me these drafts can make it happen.
It's possible. I think the Ember pick salvaged the Optic draft. Like, the DK I love from Secret because you have this draft for Optic where you need an Ember or a Storm type hero. Raw magic damage, the ability to rotate, and catch, reach. That's what their draft is missing. Ember's perfect. You can't really play Storm into all these stuns and silences, DK specifically, but Ember has the raw damage output to impact the mid game. Plus, as the game scales, he can actually deal with the PL. They needed damage and something for illusion clear. Ember provides both. So
Yeah.
CNC, a very capable Ember player, and he's going to have a lot of pressure on him to perform. And I love the Pycat Night Stalker with the Lycan on 3-3. They've done this before. I really like it.
3-3 already ahead, spilling the first blood on the Observer Ward. Makes it now that Team Secret can pretend like Optic can be encroached on the top lane, but it's not going to happen now. Like, it's just the harassment lane. It's very obvious what's going to be coming at them. It's the movement of PPD, which I'm more interested to watch. Like, does he actually stay on the bottom lane? Does he have to be down there with Pycat? Because normally, right, an Underlord will win a melee versus melee matchup. So
Yeah.
can PPD even leave that bottom lane? Actually, can even stand the bottom lane. Yabsol's on the Skywrath Mage, who's been really, like, just this hero has
Well,
been really good at zoning
He
out.
can
early game.
absorb the Qs, though. He can use his body to just keep his Night Stalker slightly higher HP. That's the key. So it's not ideal. I think you end up losing this lane, but at nighttime, you have kill potential in Underlord, and that's where they pick up the Witch Doctor, because you always have that ability to Maledict him. It's a great Crimson Guard game. Now you force Fodder to think about buying a Hood as well, specifically because there's an Ember, too.
Let's just get our bearings as well as far as the lanes go. As you can see it on the split screen. Pycat, PPD, bottom lane, Night Stalker, Witch Doctor, Fodder, and Yaps are against him as the Underlord Skywrath Mage. Mid matchup is DK versus Ember Spirit. What a surprise and unique matchup. Top lane is Wind Ranger Zai, 33 Lycan against Puppy and Ace, which is the VS as well as the PL combination.
The #2 MMR in North America against the #1 MMR in Southeast Asia.
Because MMR matters, right?
Oh, it matters a lot. The more MMR you have, I mean, let's just say it makes a difference, Toby.
Yeah, who were we looking at earlier before? Who's got 2 positions on the NA ladder?
Oh, Limp is 1st and 7th right now, but I think that's because Arteezy's 10K account's like no longer used.
Reporter for dual accounts, that second account will now be taken down. Just calling it out right now.
Yeah. I really like this Wind Ranger support. I think I was really surprised TNC didn't bring it out because I felt like that would have been key for them against Liquid. You can already see up top, PL slightly favored against a Lycan in these early levels, but the harass of Zai is just unbelievable. 2 power shots to the face, and all of a sudden, he's just 1/3 HP.
Yep. That's the kind of thing I thought, like, I suppose, like, Puppy's going to take it on the top lane. And then PPD's got to take it on the bottom lane. Even though most of the harassment from Fada and Yapzor has gone into Pycat and not into PPD. And Poppy's trying to do something about it now, just pushing Zai out of the lane. Has Wave of Terror back off cooldown. Zai, Wind Run off 1 second, but Magic Missile will connect, and Poppy, all right, he'll just do it himself. Takes the first blood. So he was doing something about it. Didn't think he could do that, but it works.
Yeah, another thing about the Witch Doctor down bot, it's much like Warlock. When you're playing against a Skywrath mage, it helps to have that sustain. So you kill the Underlord later with Maledict, but in the laning phase, you just keep that Voodoo Restoration going, and you just heal through the harass. Otherwise, it's real tough to deal with this lane.
Oh, they're going again on Zai. Forced and Wind Run, but they've got a decent creep wave pushing underneath the tower now, so experience to go all round.
Wow.
And yeah, mid one got the Soul Ring pretty early in to that mid lane, and no need to go for the Brace, so he just went direct Soul Ring and had the damage to get.
How does that happen, Toby?
Yeah, I believe he caught him with Flame Guard down. Hit him with
no,
Breeze Fire.
but Toby.
How does CNC
That's a
let that
Dragon
happen?
Knight, okay? You let out an audible groan when that was selected because you find it boring, and now he's solo killing Ember Spirits? That's not supposed to happen. But again, that's number 1 versus number 2. He went bottle first as well on CCNC. Not a huge fan of that. I think it's real overrated as a first item in Ember.
Well, you're also flagging that too, like how bottle mid is more of a thing of the past with rune control being so hotly contested.
Yeah. It makes it very luck dependent. So he's going to bottle that 3-minute, 45-second invis that's still sitting bot. But at the same time, I mean, you have a mana pool to sustain Flame Guard spam with just an Aquila. You don't really need the bottle, but it helps later on for just the rune control. But I just don't like it as a first item because then you have low stats and you're susceptible to dying.
Loving how Puppy's just able to tank through most of what Zai has to offer. Even though he's out of consumables, he's got a TP scroll. That's all he has. Managed to at least get Zai to burn off his last salve. But with stick charges available, Wave of Terror always just giving those charges over. Zai is going to win the sustained fight in the top lane.
Yeah, but thing is, Lycan crushed
Bottom lane, Fada really, really low. Pycat trying to beat the revenge kill. Yapsor's got another orb available. Pycat on the run down, doesn't have stick charges, but he's got the regeneration and a large amount of health anyway.
Yep.
Plus the Voodoo Restoration of Witch Doctor bringing them both back up.
That's the nighttime factor right there. It hits nighttime, they immediately go in for the kill. And even level 1 Maledict's a nice assist, and they take down Underlord. But top lane's a big problem for Secret because the number of denies of 3-3 is rapidly approaching the CS of Ace, and the PL needs to have a game. He's the real source of sustained damage outputs as this game transitions into the mid-late game. The
Ace
defusal
actually
timing
is dead, I think. He's got no doppelganger available because he never skilled it. So moving back to the tower, Zai keeps the pressure on, has the Observe Ward on the other side of the trees, which allows him to get the attack off. Without that, that would never have happened. And the PL will fall.
But Puppy secures the bounty runes. So it's actually worth for Secret.
It's kind of crazy to say when the solo kill happens. Team Secret's looking for a bit of revenge into the mid lane. Skywrath Mage is rotated over. No Radiant Observer Ward saw this movement, but if they wait too long, you're going to have the arrival of PPD. So yeah, they can wait for Flame Guard. Wave of Terror will arrive too. A lot of negative armor, and they just Magic Missile him down.
Nice rotation. I really like the decision from Puppy to put extra points in stun. I've seen a lot of 1-4-1s on Venge. Hate the build. You get -1 armor per point. The stun scales so well now, especially after the recent Venge changes. Cooldown now just 10 seconds, and I just think it's super solid. 75 damage per point. Extra little bit of stun duration.
With their Magic Missile, they had a little bit more control from Yapsor, aka mana. You would have actually had them finding that kill onto Zai, who was rotating down towards the mid, but Poppy and Yapsor, they'll burn the shrine and they'll head north. 33 with a large wave double catapult. But he's already, he's already got the Dominator up and running. So Poppy moves over, Magic Missile, concussive shot with the Wave of Terror. 33 at -3 armor, but Pycat's also rotated into the back lines. But Fada's here too. 33, the lance flies forward. He's into the trees. This regeneration of 15 a second. It may be enough for the Paralyzing Cast. No, it comes way too late. And doesn't have enough bounces available, but Pycat making the most out of it, killing off Puppy. Pycat actually with the double kill, both the supports falling. And they're getting Skywrath Mage already back up to the top. Remember, there's only 7 minutes into this game. And Team Secret brought 4 heroes to the top lane to fight. The only one they didn't bring was DK.
Yeah. Optic, the only team that runs this core Night Stalker as their one, but that's also because they have this weird 3-3's the actual carry, but still the offlaner thing going on. But this is nighttime Night Stalker. All you need is phase boots, and you're a force around the map.
Oh, they just rotate the lanes anyway.
And they did that, but they kept Zai bottom the whole time, so that rotation is super advantageous for Optic, even though they do lose their Lycan.
Paralyzing Cask. Lucky bounce for PPD to get a little bit more distance, but CCNC with that high movement speed. Hastrun right after Fada. PPD needs to get out of that Firestorm. He's got his restoration to keep him alive while behind the tower. Pycat does get the dive out. Fada will die in the lane. Actually going to deny the creep before he died? Sure, why not? CCNC TP's back towards the mid lane quickly as mid one was making the most of his absence. Mid one's actually 2 levels in front of CCNC now.
I like what he's choosing to do with his items as well, just going for a hood first. He's so powerful. This is going to allow him to just frontline and be the guy that sits on top of towers. They need somebody that they can dangle, because otherwise Lycan's going to shove a lane, and you always have this possibility that Nightstalker or Ember just dive. DK, the only hero that can really stand against that. Now he'll have the massive armor bonus from his passive along with the hood. You can't really take him down.
Illusion Ring got picked up by Zai, which means CCNC has no ball of charges available. And with the double creep wave, he's using Flame Guard to farm that up. Pycat trying to pressure off Yapsaw in mid one by popping the darkness, having to fabricate nighttime as we are in daytime.
The bottom PL trying to recover. Ace not having the greatest game, but neither is CCNC, especially after that solo kill. So you're okay with this, I think. Again, I really disagree with CCNC's decision to skip Aquila, especially considering no one else on his team can buy it. I think that's unforgivable. If you're an agility hero and none of your other heroes can buy a Ring of Aquila, you need to get one. It is too valid. It's just too cost efficient.
Unforgivable is very strong, Kyle.
It is unforgivable. There's 3 things that I do not allow. When you're playing against massive minus armor, you buy armor. When you have 5,000 gold, you spend it. And if you need an Aquila on your team, and you're the only one that can, you buy it.
Mid lane, they had a small opportunity to try and kill off mid one then. It's like he was just sitting AFK in the mid lane. If PPD moved forward, they could have Cask and Maledic. And with the 2 points up in Maledic, he may have had a chance to get through mid one. Then again, he's got 3 points of Dragon Blood and the infused raindrop. So yeah, maybe not.
He does not die.
This is a DK.
His treads too. I mean, 1,500 HP.
Ember will die though. Yapsaw and Puppey moving under the cover of smoke. They would have seen that defensive spirit go down.
And unlike TNC, I love this last pick DK because there's so much raw damage output to set up with that stun. Underlord, Skywrath, like whoever he lands a stun on is just going to get exploded.
3 heroes from Optic come to defend that tier 1 tower in mid. Gives more space for Pycat as well as Lycan to get a little bit more farm. Keep in mind too that this is now 2 minutes of the daytime cycle which has been burned. Paralyzing Cask doesn't get its bounce off. The Maledict is over on the Dragon Knight, so careful about how much damage mid one does take. And the Shackle, perfect from Zai, catching mid one and Yapsaw together. And mid one, now he actually has to pop off that Hood of Defiance. The last Maledict pop brings him very low, not to mention 33 into the back lines. That double damage Lycan looking for the final target, but already Yapsaw TP back to base. So they push the mid tier 1 tower instead. Terrific fight for Optic. And TP's coming in. Puppey wants to try and fight this. Now, where is the rest of his team? He's TP'd forward. The Dragon Knight's still dead. Puppey's going to arrive before the Underlord completes his TP. I'm not certain what he was looking to achieve here. Fada comes to the front lines, lets the Hellfire down, trying to mop up the creep wave. But thanks to that double damage on 33, they're melting through this tower. Here comes that TP once more as DK the front lines, but Optic have already claimed what they wanted.
I love the play from CCNC there too. He TP'd bottom, defends the catapult wave push from PL on the bottom, and he has Remnant mid, so they still have 5 heroes middle, but he's able to also deal with that bottom wave, so they don't even have to trade. And as you said, yeah, the ineffective TP by Puppey, but I don't like that move. It's great if they find the kill on that initial setup, but when smoke fades, you hang out for 30 seconds, it's never going to work. They went into Flame Guard too. You can't kill Ember through Flame Guard until the Skywrath hits level 6, and he's still a full level away.
Yapsaw needs that time and space, but right now he's been forced to always walk around with 2 other players of Team Secret, so getting that level 6 is difficult. Meanwhile, Zai's got the top lane all to himself. They've been very good about chaining off a lot of the side lane farm. PPD's the only one who's not getting a lot. He's playing Protection Doctor.
That's all he really needs to do in this game, to be fair. And Maledict a Strength Core as well.
And bottom push from mid one's Dragon Form. Not having the same level of presence they would like, especially when they got 4 heroes on bottom lane for Team Secret. So what does 33 do? Runs up towards the top lane, Keeps the catapult alive barely, and fortification will be used. One more hit from the catapult, and this tower is secured for Optic. And that's now going to be 2 tier 1 towers going their way.
Dude, 3-3 has a Necro book already to go with that HOD. He's so farmed. And the problem with the Secret lineup is that they take a lot longer to come online. They need to first itemize for survivability, and they don't actually deal damage or initiate. Like, what is their tool for initiation? Where's their reach? That's the big advantage of this Optic lineup.
It's going to be Blink on mid 1.
Yeah, but Hood Blink, you need to find kills in team fights constantly. In the meantime, you have Night Stalker and Wolves constantly providing a vision advantage, and on top of that, Ember has by far the longest reach of any hero in this game.
Is that the point when you actually question the Blink Dagger? Mid 1's got it queued up, but is it worth actually going for something more like a Shadow Blade?
Yeah, I think you need a Shadow Blade when you're always going to be behind in vision. It's tough to use that Blink to capitalize, and it's very difficult to guarantee a stun on Ember because even CCNC is going to have the reflexes to juke it out.
Wow. Fada in trouble. Silenced up, voided up. 33 is trying to make his way into him to get that damage into Fada, but it will not happen. Yeah. Very smart TP out. They had no disable between the two of them.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like people like to mock CCNC, specifically his laning phase, which is relatively weak in comparison to the top mids, but I think his understanding of the map, how he reads, how he kills creep waves, okay? He does not farm jungle. He is always pressuring the map, and that is something that is invaluable for a mid player on your team.
Oh, God. He may actually be... Actually, no, the Observer Ward and Sentry can see all of this, so... If he wants to come back to the Spirit that's on bottom lane, but he knows he can't because of that vision.
Yep. He's going to have a Maelstrom in a sec, Dobby. He's huge.
And he itemized exactly the way you wanted him to itemize, right? Like, we already saw an Ember Spirit early today, and you got a little bit about it.
Dude, Maelstrom's too good of an item. It's super cost efficient. You get the components plus, like, an ability.
He came alone. Puppy's beginning his TP now. That's that tier 2 tower. 33 was just looking at it. He didn't want to get too close. Still got more units to keep the fight going, and actually through the back lines on the top lane, that Hapsaw shackled the Death Ward from PPD, zoning him out, but this just allows for the Spirit Jump forward from CCNC, roots up the Underlord, and they have to follow up Silence, so he has nothing. He used both of his abilities, both the Pit of Mouths and the Firestorm before, to try and keep Optic away from the tower. Now it's Night Stalker in the back lines working against Ace. The Shackle won't latch on anyone, the Dragon Tail from mid 1 used defensively. CCNC, he still wants more, and with the Spirit Jump forward, he'll get a double steering chains. Mid 1's the only one alive. The silence will wear off in a second, so he'll have Dragon Form. They fortify once more, but I do not see this fight for Team Secret. In fact, I don't see any fight for Team Secret right now. Optic getting all the advantages.
He didn't offensive tip there, but Pycat definitely did just drop his zone on the ground and run around in a circle, so add a little insult to injury, and that's the reach advantage right there.
Well,
Secret's not prepared.
Pycat's a classic player, man. Like he doesn't have to use all the modern fandangle tools.
He's a Swede too, so you know he wants to do it in a more subtle way, not super confrontational. Really well played though. There's no real counterplay for Secret. They don't have the ability to make moves, and we've seen a lot of drafts like this suffer where you are just too far behind. And it's so simple. It's nighttime. Night Stalker shows up. He's got a hood. He doesn't take any damage, and you can't hide behind a tower because here comes Ember Spirit. Trees go down, Searing Chains.
Yep.
You got to cancel one TP, and then all of a sudden you end up losing an extra hero as well because Ember's not overcommitting Remnants. He's always able to just continue moving forwards, and they get Ace as well after this. And I just, man, what do you do?
I'm not certain, but it seems like Team Secret were kind of like messed up from the start. Like Pit Lord had nothing. Like he was a non-factor in that fight apart from time it took to burn through his HP. And Poppy could do nothing as well. Locked inside the trees, already threw the magic missile out, which is, well, it's great to have the points in it. It's the stun is done. Nowhere to swap out. There was no good positioning for him. And anyone he did swap in, he only had mid 1 to swap, and that would have ended in his death.
Yep.
Shackle bottom lane. Another great connection here from Zai. Going against Yapsaw.
He's going to have a Maelstrom too, Toby. Holy crap.
Yeah,
Zai's huge.
They're finding a lot of ways to both push the lane, find the damage, and deal with the PL.
And find kills. That's the thing. They have more wave clear, the vision advantage, and the reach. So the game sort of plays itself. You're going to find all these opportunities to make moves happen because, like, Underlord has to push this wave, but oh, you're caught. You're dead.
They weighed that out perfectly. CCNC was always coming in, and the vision game from Team Secret, it just doesn't exist. The two observer wars they have are watching the bottom river. They're not watching the kill areas. Like the last like 3-4 minutes, it's been Optic pushing in top lane and finding kills on top lane. And Secret are not seeing any of this coming.
It's easy. How do you, though? I mean, it's not even nighttime, and they still have total map control.
And they're going to have more map control soon. Like, level 3 Necrobook is done for 33. He just needs to fly the courier out.
And this is the itemization that I like to see on Ember. You get the Maelstrom, so you continue to accelerate. You have that damage output, wave clear. Now you go back for the Yules. So now you're not threatened by the Skywrath silence. You can just juke the DK. You can do a lot more moves now, but you get it second because you don't need the mana regen until much later in the game where you start spamming Slay.
Well, courier's coming out, so they have the Blink Dagger for mid one. They have the initiation for Team Secret. This is what they need to utilize. At the same time, Optic, they continue to add pressure onto the bottom lane, and they find Puppey. Observe Ward on the hill. Puppey came out to try and get a little bit extra vision before this fight began, but there's mid one jumping in with a sum, finding PPD and the Mystic Flare. All right, committed. YapzOr wanted to ensure this kill, but they may really need that damage in a second.
Dude, he has Necro 3 Medallion as well on the Lycan. He just finished both those items, and I love super efficient play by Optic.
Observe Ward with the Spirit jump forward, Sleight of Fist Searing Chains. The route is onto CCNC. He's sealed up for the moment with a shackle from Zai. Way too good. Fada is going to pull mid one away. Does he? Is he? Yeah, he's still in range. He's got him.
Dude, Wolf on Lycan, so he's just farming 30% faster. And I love the Night Stalker items too. Pycat loves to do this. He gets the urn straight into these tanky items. He's going to play the role of...
That was too close. Puppey goes for the swap. They want to try and find this kill over onto Zai. Maybe with the Hellfire, they have a Puppey. Will need one more hit to do it. Zai still, actually, he stopped ticking down to the Hellfire, turns around for his own attack and power shots him. He has the life to survive while Lycan diving with a level 3 Necrobook under the tier 3 tower. 2 paw swipes and the Skywrath Mage is gone. Dragon Tail, it just comes off cooldown, stopping 33's TP away to safety. His Necrobook made the run, so at least they don't get the cash from that, but there are no friends to help out 33. A Wolf block would be the only thing that will potentially save him. He sends him off to the east. 33 is dead. No one will save him, and that's mid one with some much needed money into that DK.
Zai. He's not going to find this kill.
Yeah, he is. He just hit the... Oh, okay, no, he can't. He's waiting it out. Like, the Spirit jumps forward, Sleight of Fist, cleans up the wave, Searing Chains there too, mid one jumps forward. You still have that Flame Guard protecting CCNC and making real issues for A to Zai. How many Maelstrom procs you want to get? CCNC at 10 HP! He shackled the DK to the tree. PPD will die once again here to YapzOr, or should die once again to YapzOr. Yeah, he does. Mid one blinks forward. Already found the kill. CCNC TP out of here. The Wolves are ready to block the path, so he will be safe in the trees.
The same issue. No real sustained damage output and a lack of stick from Secret until the PL has Diffusal. And that's still 700 gold away. Optic really want to make sure they secure first Roche before that item comes online. I'd expect them to smoke for that as soon as possible, especially now that it's nighttime. Crimson Guard finished on Night Stalker. What I was about to say before that whole exchange started.
You got it on 2 heroes. It's Night Stalker and Underlord.
You turn him into a blue watermelon. He can just walk into a fight super fast, bait spells, and just essentially clear a path for his now aggressive, squishy heroes that are going to deal the real damage, the Wind Ranger, the Ember, the Lycan. He gives them so much information, he makes the game easy to play, and he keeps everyone alive. He's going Radiance next, too. I don't mind that at all.
Well, the momentum they've got, it works out, right? And it's a little bit more burn, a little bit more miss. It's great.
Yeah. And this is it. Yeah, as expected. Walk straight into Roche. This is the play. You know there's no Diffusal. This is what allows you to then clear out those next tier 2s.
Well, they even give mid one a little bit of a nudge in mid. That's a level 4 Maledict on the Dragon Knight. He pops the hood to try and save himself. And then the rest of Optic straight inside the pit. The PL illusions are coming over. They will scalp this one out. That's that Manta style illusions to survive a little bit longer. Roshan's low. Wave of Terror doesn't quite reach. They want to finish the job. The shackle again. Really good onto Puppey as well. It's mid one. 33. He's had time for through this. He'll get the Aegis Immortal and the kill on Roshan. Ace jumps in with the doppelganger. He wanted to fight Puppey. Pulls him out. Maybe they have the heal to try and save them with the Death Ward. Fada. He'll take one back, but he doesn't take the other. Skywrath Mage killed in the mid lane. PL's down. They'll lose their Observer Ward. And Optic now have a license to push Aegis Immortal on the Lycan.
Ace bought Manta to start that fight because he didn't have gold for Diffusal, but then used it to scout the pit and didn't have it. Caught a silence, immediately dies. And you can see the power of Wind Ranger as well against the PL. If you get that ultimate off on the real one, you just walk next to him. You're going to immediately identify the real one and attack him like 7 times a second with Maelstrom procs running rampant.
They're ready to fight again. Puppey hanging around, Fada making sure he's not in a position to get Puppey shackled.
Okay.
So Skyrath's back up again, PL in just a second, but it looks like with Ember pushing the bottom lane, Optic will just be very, very clean about this. Take out the tier 2 tower on bottom, re-establish vision, and then just try and win the fight. Puppey's actually so far out. What's he looking for here?
I don't know. I like it's just clinical from Optic, though. This is why they've been on fire, you know, top 3 at the ESL Major. And if they win this series, they're top 6 at this one. And all they need is top 4, and they'll get that TI invite. Something I think the NA region desperately needs. You got too many teams in that qualifier.
The Dragon Tail still initiating it on a Night Stalker, and they're committing multiple abilities. That's not even real.
You get the pipe up on Underlord now, so Secret is getting to a point where you're going to be very tanky. The problem is they have no real damage threat, and they won't until PL gets Diffusal, and he's not going to have it now for quite some time. I think Optic might just win this game in the next 3-4 minutes.
Mid one, hang around a long time. 33 is going to pump the ultimate. Nice route from Fada. Holds him in position, but mid one's totally isolated from the rest of his team underneath the shrine. That regeneration will not be enough. CCNC committing the spirits. Puppey will go down to the death ward of Witch Doctor, and it's not over. Underneath the tower, Pycat once more. Void's off cooldown right now. And it's still nighttime for another 40 seconds, and Pycat's making the most out of it. Fighting inside the base with all that regeneration, all that armor. PL starting his TP, and Pycat, he's just standing here. Yeah. He knows he's got friends coming high ground, so why not?
There's no damage. There's absolutely no damage on the side of Secret right now. They are threatened by nothing. Pycat is just being tickled.
Well, Pycat's new name now, Elmo. Pycat will bounce out of the base.
Yeah. I love CCNC constantly shoving the other lane as well. He finds the kills and immediately looking around the map, what creep waves do I need to take down? He's got bots finished, so it's going to be even more efficient, but they were taking that tier 2 mid. What was CCNC doing? Shoving 2 lanes bottom, farming woods, grabbing runes. That's what allows them to play so fast. It's because they're not forgetting about the creep waves, and that's the strength of CCNC and why Optic keeps him on their team, even though everyone on Reddit and Twitch is saying, why is this guy's got to go? You know, making drastic roster changes doesn't seem to work so well for anybody. Specifically in NA Dota. Not going to name names. Both red and blue.
I'm sorry, they're not even NA Dota anymore, so shush. Team Secret, yeah, fully under pressure. You're right, Optic are keeping all the lanes in. Puppey, he's coming out almost looking for a wave push like he's a leaner, like almost like the old AUI kind of style. Like I'm going to sit in the lane, light strike, slave it, and then just run away. But I've done my job. But this time around, like Puppey, I don't know if he's waiting for Underlord to TP in and bring in friends. Actually, that's exactly what's happening. They're TPing over towards the shrine, trying to make this work, trying to pull something out of nothing. They know he ran up the observer wards to the south. They really want this kill onto CCNC, but how can you get it? Yeah. Like, not only does he have Yule Steps, but he's got this bottled Arcane Rune, and the rest of Optic have rotated in, and they've cut Team Secret off. Yep. There's no way to get back to the base unless Fada does exactly this. Everyone hold together. We made a mistake, but the only thing which really threatened them was an Alpha Wolf.
It's not even nighttime, and they're that afraid.
That's right, it's 2 minutes 40 seconds. I'm just spending so much time with my camera view on the dire side, it feels like night.
I mean, lights, it's definitely getting dark for Secret.
When the lights
go down. That's a down, not out.
Down.
I think so. I think
Maybe when the lights go out.
Karaoke's not till Sunday, Toby.
Yeah, that's true. Oh. Hey, we have a day off.
That's true.
It's a day off on Friday. Karaoke Thursday night.
I'm ready. Yeah, I love the itemization. I really think that's the strength of Optic right now. They understand how to move around the map, and they don't make egregious item errors. And it's so key. They obviously have an identity. Moving 3-3 to this more carry, micro-intensive role. Pycat playing more of a space maker, the rotator, and CCNC almost always covering those creep waves. And again, a real 5. I feel like all the top teams right now, they have that one guy dedicated to buying wards. We've seen a couple of teams try out this like 2-4 style, splitting up the responsibility. It just doesn't work.
Also seems very patient as well from Optic. Like 33 had that Aegis the Immortal, it just timed out now. But it's like they didn't feel the overwhelming pressure to keep the push going, attack into the tier 3 towers. Yeah, you dived under buildings, but it was Night Stalker nighttime, and they're going after Yapsaw. It's not even with a full unit. It's just the Lycan army trying to make his life a living hell. Puppey's going to use the swap, and they even seal the Centaur, so we cannot get the stomp control off. That Centaur moves way too fast.
You see a Lycan units keeping 4 heroes in the enemy base. In the meantime, the rest of the team cutting. They might find PL. Ooh, smoke pops before he saw him.
Mid one though walks underneath that Observer and Sentry. I'm surprised Optic aren't just walking around with the Gem of True Sight, remove all vision of Team Secret.
Another key thing with Optic farm priority. Pycat was #1 for a while, then #2 around 9,000. He's only gone up 2, but at the same time, his other cores now have map. Pycat doesn't need to hit creeps. He just has to run around in circles, be the shepherd that keeps secret sheep locked inside their pen, their own base.
He's still fighting that farm though. Like he wants to get Radiance. Like he wants a relic.
Yeah, but look at what he's farming. You know, he could be in this area of the map, but why even play the Radiant side? Just as long as they maintain pressure on the Dire's half of the map, Secret has no recourse to ever come back into this game. They need a big team fight, but they just don't deal any damage. Like, PL needs to... They need to kill Ember and then have PL just go off. But the problem is, both supports inevitably feed to Nightstalker Lycan. They have no ability to peel these heroes. They just get chased down.
Well, Dragon Tail Stump, they find their target, PPD. Slightly out of position. And that was Team Secret just on the hunt more than anything else. They have a deeper Dire Observer Ward that let them know a little bit of this information. Bottom lane, Shackle is going to latch. A lot bigger kill than killing off PPD, but it's a lot bigger kill to get through. Bart's got a lot of fat on him. And now with a pick, Ace also coming over, Searing Chains onto Puppey. Where's that extra help? Puppey gonna swap in mid one so they can lance forward, keeping the attack going, and then straight out for CCNC. He does not want this fight. Remember, they're still pushing the side lanes. They're still in control. Yep. They don't have to give Secret what they want.
And you can see, though, at a point, you can't really kill Underlord. DK, same story, but the problem is Secret doesn't have the damage yet. If this game can continue, they get another core item up on their hero, specifically this PL, they have a chance. But they need to utilize their burst, immediately find a kill onto Wind Ranger or Ember, and then a long fight will favor them because the strength heroes have time to just build and build their damage output. But again, I'm just so concerned that Ember Lycan, how do you stop them?
Especially now that Lycan has a BKB coming on the courier, so 33 is even stronger.
Yeah, and dude, just swap to F2 real quick. Check out this Dire Vision. How do you play the game from this position? You have no control whatsoever over the map, and this is what they've been playing with for the last 10 minutes. It looks like they're not trying, but when you don't have vision, it's so difficult to play good Dota. Look at where they're forced to ward.
They have been trying, but I think they also understand that they're going to throw a ward down. More than likely, they got scattered moving out doing it. But the vision for Optic Gaming is also starting to limit. They've only got the Observer and Sentry in mid lane. In fact, the other Observer and Sentry in mid lane. That's all they have.
Yep. They don't need too many wards, though. As soon as it hits nighttime, as it is now, you just run around the map for free. And look.
They're pushing forward. Zai, CC, and C. And they're against Ace. The Lance does connect. But the illusion doesn't get the chase.
He's gonna have a Shiva's on Ember soon, man. That's a crazy good item this game, and it secures even more division advantage.
So Shiva's Ember is about to be completed. You've got Radiance and 300 gold for Pycap. You've got BKB Maelstrom over on Zai. You've got BKB level 3 Necrobook and everything else on 33.
And oh, look at that!
And PPD's almost managed to finish up a
Man, he's got Arcane Boots. He's maxed out. But this is what they're really waiting for. Just that Roshan. The boss spawns. You immediately walk over, take it out. It's nighttime. Secret has no hope contesting it. And this is the cue for Optic to group up, end the game. They just want to finish that Radiance first. And he'll get enough gold for the recipe right after this kill. And again, to note, who's with them in the pit, taking down the big bad monster? That's right, it's Balto. 3-3's friend for nearly the entire game. Once again, boys and girls, if you're farming and you're completely relying on physical damage and you've got an HOD, by God, you need to have your boy Balto at all times. 30% damage is not negligible whatsoever.
We're talking about Nalthor, by the way, for those who don't have any idea who Balto is. I've actually never heard him called that before.
What?
Balto.
You ever watched the movie? No. Balto? Oh, wow, I'm sad for your childhood, Toby.
I know a lot of 1990s movies, but I have never watched Balto. Now, if you did, like if his name was Chance, then it'd be Homeward Bound, and then I'd be all for it.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Those are dogs. Balto was
mid one. He's just far enough away from the tree, so Zai's shackle will not latch. Ember Spirit. Okay. CC and Z just goes in. Sealed up. Mystic Flare exploded. Well, there goes the Aegis of the Immortal. Crimson Guard is up, but will not protect Puppey, however. That's very aggressive from CC&C.
I think if he was a... he might have wanted BKB over Shivas, to be completely honest, because once he has that item, there's actually nothing Secret has to lock him down. Once again, something that it really feels like only the Chinese Embers are doing, but I want to see more people do it because an uncontrollable Ember, you saw that is reach in a nutshell. Power bots into the Wolf, immediately Remnant forward. If he has BKB, you can't stop him. He can be anywhere on the map and then on top of your face in 4 seconds. Like, what other heroes in Dota can do that?
Not many. He's back up to top lane, pushing it out. So, hey, you want him to get BKB? He's not doing it. He's getting Lincoln Sphere.
That's okay, too. It's just you can't get DK stunned, because right now, if he ever gets DK stunned with Skyrath ult up, he's just dead. But that's really Secret's only burst damage, too. So if they kill Skyrath, and...
Vada. Okay. For the first time in the game, Xayah Shackle is well off target.
We're going to have a Shivas on the... Bot underload pretty soon as well. And that item is more impactful for Secret because they're the ones always with the vision disadvantage. Shivas really helps to clear out space to win a team fight against Night Stalker. Otherwise, you're just at a super big disadvantage at nighttime. And now that he has Radiance, he's going to go for his own BKB.
Do they actually have a way where they can just start tanking through? Like, Ace is rapidly approaching the money he needs for his heart. He's at 4.2k. So...
This is what we're saying. They needed that one more item in every hero. They're getting there.
Mid one is working his way in towards the Orchid. So looking for his own disable. CC&C wants to gank him, but Skyrath Mage is right behind. And they know they need a little bit of extra help, so CC&C moves out. YapzOr's been waiting for this. He'll need to Yule CC&C and get rid of that Flame Guard first, but here comes Xayah as well, looking for the Shackle. It does not latch. Mid one juked it absolutely perfectly, but the BKBs from both sides, Xayah and Mid one being burned, and then the TP's back home.
Really well played by both sides. It's high-level Dota 2 right here. And yeah, I agree with what you're saying. The issue is that they still don't have map control on Secret. They win that one big fight, and all of a sudden they're going to be in a great position, but they're just getting out-farmed around the map.
Yeah. So like once Ace is able to push out a little bit hard, like once his illusions are a lot harder to kill and the Manta can start pushing, then I can feel this a little bit more. Once Mid one actually has more control in a team fight too. Probably the reason why Ember Spirit's going to go for this Lincoln Sphere is just in case like it's Dragon Tail stuff, but it's also going to be the Orchid Silence. There's already Dispel ways for this. Okay, well, dewarding from Puppey. It's a real bad support life right now for him. He knows he can't survive against this. CC&C's looking for the extra kill. He'll only find the PL Illusions, however.
Because it's so easy. Once again, like, top wave is pressured thanks to the Ember presence, and they make moves to the opposite side of the map. They bring in the Ember, and you're always going to find the kill. And look, once again, where's Secret forced to be? 4 men inside of their base.
But hey, the mid lane's pushed out, the bottom lane's pushed out, the top lane's pushed out. They can't go high ground straight up.
But bounty runes, Toby.
But bounty runes, true. Yeah, like, money is...
110 gold per player times 4.
Hey, I'm trying to look on the bright side of Secret at the moment. The fact they're getting the next items which they can sustain through the fight, the Shivas has done on the Underlord. The PL, he has the money to actually he's short the money by 35 to buy the heart.
They just went from like 14 to 17,000 gold ahead. That's because it's, it's 14.9 most likely, but still, the late game bounty runes, this is why you see teams sitting on their mid game leads so much, because you get 2 or 3 waves of 4 bounty runes plus all the map control, farming enemy jungle.
They're coming to
you
fight.
just win.
Mid one, blink forward, able to get the Dragon Tail stun off thanks to YapzOr also being there. 691 gold going the way of YapzOr. Hope he buys himself something nice. He's actually buying the Aghanim Scepter. No real surprise, it's been the item on Skyrath Mage. And if these BKBs start to get lower, you still got a 10-second BKB on a Lycan.
He's AC soon as well.
Yeah.
Lincoln's about to be finished on the Ember. I mean, everyone's just getting fat. I love the itemization. It was near flawless, I think, from every player. Only thing that punished them a bit was the Ember lack of BKB. I think maybe Lincoln's before Shivas could have accomplished the same just because the single target spells are what's really taking him down, namely the Silence of Sky. But it's just the DK stun.
And Fada. Yeah, you just use a 110-second cooldown ability to put a pit in the middle lane. Just in case anyone's there, or getting at least Optic to look behind themselves.
Yeah, Secret is playing this game rather well for this under the circumstances. They haven't fed away more than just a couple of supports. They're still accelerating on their cores. They're losing the game, but they're keeping themselves in it. They're looking for that one fight.
They still have a win condition or a momentum swinger. This is possible.
It's the same style as the character Danny in one of my favorite short stories ever, The Mexican, written by Jack London, about a prize fight. For round after round, the champion that's getting his ass kicked is waiting for the knockout punch, taking a beating, but you know that with one swing, you might even the odds. I highly recommend the story if anyone's listening and you read books instead of just watch video games on TV.
It seems I have multiple things added to my list to tackle. But what is this written text? I don't get this. Does it come in digital form?
Hey man, there's a PDF for free on the internet. Just read it in between games.
I love it. All right, so Ace has his heart up and running. So a lot more survivable on the PL. I was wondering if he'd actually go for Butterfly, but it seems he's got something else on his mind. He's after that MKB.
Yeah, Lincoln's on Ember. You don't really need to do anything right now if you're Optic. Obviously, you're in the commanding lead, but as I just said, they understand the win condition Secret has. You need to ensure that you spend all your gold, and if you check out current gold, look at Optic. Less than 2,000 or 3,000 gold still unspent, and it gets near flawless. That's just because they're farming so much. They can't spend their gold quick enough. Now you can look to be aggressive, maybe threaten high ground, but let's be realistic. They're just going to wait for Roche.
Yeah. And Roshan may respawn in about 30 seconds time, so we'll watch the clock pretty closely. But the rest of the time, Optic just, yeah, as you said, like they move around, just keep the farm going. They should have Mjolnir in the time for the push. AC is already done on 33. Pycat could be looking at his next item. Is anything actually, no, nothing's on the courier just yet. PBD already finished that Glimmer Cape previously, but you got almost a full Daedalus. Nice shackle. They found their target. Puppy has to swap Ace back into safety, but they just run forward under the cover of the BKB. Mid one, he's completely stranded. Finally, he'll get his own BKB off, back under the cover of his own tower. But then 33, he doesn't care. He just attacks the tier 3 tower. They want to open up the shrines. The Yule Scepter sends him up and towards the air. Follow-up stun with the Wave of Terror, and there goes. You like it. 33 just wanted the tower, but now it's Team Secret. This is the fight they were dying for. Sentry wards it down. The shackle will keep Vada under control, but because the Sentry's there, the Glimmer Cape didn't help from PPD, so CTNC, he has to go on the side of Fist, keep the challenge going, but then again, the pressure, they're jumping away with the Spirit, getting some distance, so Lycan will be the only one to fall. The tier 3 tower is hurting, but Team Secret are holding.
Yep, Roche not going to spawn for 2 minutes near the max time, but I like that play from Optic. A little over-aggressive, they do get punished, but they just lose the one, that's the key. And they get a ton of damage on that tier 3. If they can open up shrines, it just helps to secure their map control even more. A little eager though, the Venge swap from Puppy was on point.
For Team Secret, it's a little unfortunate for them. It's going to be a late Roshan spawn, so they're coming over to check it. So is PPD. He's stacking Ancients and looking for something. Illusion Room will be there, so hi PPD, jump forward. Zai can't help him out. So 48 seconds for PPD to be down, but again, it's still 1 minute and 42 away from Roshan.
If only it was an early spawn, that would have felt like a much better kill, because you forced the buyback.
Yep.
And with Lycan dead, you might even be able to kill Roche in time. But
they're keeping just one player down. This Observer Ward that's here for mid one, they were looking for the retreating Ember. But a CCNC with BT, so he's going to be bouncing around the lanes pretty hard. But Team Secret can just backdoor the tier 1 tower. They've got a creep wave on the way too. Much needed money, which is never being claimed. Like, it's still crazy to think you're 40 minutes in, Team Secret's been so defensive, but they're finally taking a tower after such a long time. 33, okay, maybe they're not taking this tower. They pop the ulti, they see everything, and Vada triggers the ultimate. Everybody get the hell out of here. They got the BKB out of 33 at least, like he's down to 8 seconds on this. And Shapeshift.
they're buying time.
And PL was pushing the tier 2 tower in the meantime. Roshan's still not up. 50 seconds now.
PL's about to finish his MKB, man. He's huge. Like, you're getting to the point now where game gets a bit scary for Optic, and that's the power of Underlord. Not many teams still picking this hero, but you've got that great get-out-of-jail-free card in the Uber out. And ask any drunk person at 4 or 5 a.m., Uber is a life-saving application.
The only thing Team Secret are missing, if you want to go for a drunken analogy, they need a kebab to go with that Uber. Then you finish your night of drinking.
And Ace is getting to the point where he deals real damage, as is mid one. They've held out as long as possible. Yaps are almost finishing that Ags. And it's all going to be about, can Optic kill the supports, and how do they deal with the Uber? And it's going to come down to the third Roche. This is a nice smoke, yep.
They're looking for the for the best target they can get that gives them the advantage to push high ground, or at least secure Roshan. But now Team Secret also smoke up, but Optic, they're in position. The smoke, who's going to break on it first? Yaps or Puppy? It breaks on Puppy. They move through the north, looking towards Ace. Ace doppelgangers away, understanding that this fight is on if they get caught out. But now Optic want to retreat. Roshan is available. There's an Invis rune as well to be picked up. And PPD is just going to walk inside the pit to see it.
Yeah, check out Zai's items, by the way.
Yeah, he's...
Just finished the Daedalus.
Yeah.
And if you look at the net worth disparity, his 7,000.
They get the stun off. Mid one actually jumping in. They got the stun out. Using the Orchid to trigger the Lincoln Sphere and Yapsaw. Dude, stop taking money. He actually finished his Aghanim Scepter with this.
Yeah, it's worth. It's so worth. It makes him... You have 2 Skywrath mages now. He's got a doppelganger that's just going to be casting everything. And also, there's the upside of the Orchid build where now you have that active. You don't. It's Halberd or Orchid, right? But Halberd's another defensive item. Mid one can't buy that, so he goes Orchid, boosts his damage output, and does allow him to insta-kill the Ember through the Lincolns.
Optic Gaming's looking for... what are they looking for on the top? Like right now, Team Secret.
No buyback Ember.
They've gone inside the pit. Yeah, no buyback on the Ember, but they've got to find a way to contest Roshan. He's dying so quickly. They actually bloodthorned him. That's why Roshan's dying. PPD puts the Death Ward in, but now the jump over. Mid one, shackled to the tree. Puppy swaps it back out again, but here comes the Mystic Flares, burning down PPD. Roshan's all alive, but so is mid one. He's actually fallen. Ace Immortal was snatched by Ace. So the Roshan kill goes the way of Radiant. Fada just wants to pull everybody out. He can't get Puppy in time. At least he gets Ace back into safety. And they clean up the Necro books, but huge contest there from Optic.
Who got all the items? Who got the Refresher Shard? I don't see it. Cheese picked up by Night Stalker. Was the Refresher Shard used? Must have been. I don't see it on anybody.
Yeah, I don't see it on anybody either. I see the Aegis Immortal and Cheese both on Ace. But Refresher Shard does not look like it's there. Did it get denied? We have instant replay to look for this stuff.
We're not going to be able to see it. There was way too much in the pit.
Yeah. Looks like also the pressure on top lane. 33 just takes his creep army in, looking to take out the tier 3 tower. Maybe once they pull out, we can watch that in very slow motion.
And keep in mind, that was a 4-on-5 team fight. Optic still takes it. And that's all Zai there. Just gets the ult off on top of the Dragon Knight. He killed it by himself.
CCNC's attacking the bottom lane.
Wow, and you know why? It's partly because mid one chose to go for the 150 GPM talent instead of the 2x Dragonblood HP regen and armor. I'm not sure I can agree with that one. He doesn't have an additional armor item, so he really feels that lack of 12 armor.
Oh, Fada. Silenced up. Pike at the CCNC trying to keep their control. There goes the tier 3 tower. So there's 2 tier 3 towers lost for Team Secret. But they have managed to get all their heroes back up into the world of the living. And they do have their second life on Ace. So next team fight from Team Secret is still not going to be that terrible.
If you're Optic now, though, you got to be playing for space and buildings. Make moves so that Lycan has the ability to find a Rax. You know Glyph is on cooldown for another 4 minutes. Make plays with Ember, abuse that reach and vision advantage thanks to the Night Stalker as well. He's got 5,000 something gold, by the way. Podcast looking to go for Mjolnir next, but I liked what he had his quick buy before, the Nullifier. I think you need more items to prevent BKBs from Secret. And Skywrath, you saw those ults at the end. Like a stun on a support into Skywrath ulti. That guy's dead.
Yeah. They just need that initiation. But Bloodthorn Dragon Tail, like you said, is good. Mid one's going to have the cheese to give him a little bit more confidence when he jumps forward now. And they always feel like they got that get out of jail free card from Fada, who now will also complete it for Radiance. You get an Aghanim Scepter for a Wind Ranger. Okay, yep. Zai.
He had Lincoln's queued up, but I like that choice a lot more. He just killed a Dragon Knight. He feels real good about himself. He needs to be able to do that to more than just one hero per fight.
Yeah.
It's such a great ultimate now. The change where you can attack while moving, like that's ridiculous. And it's so easy to maintain good positioning and still obviously output tons of damage. You can do it while wind running around invisible. Obviously you don't stay invisible, but you know. It's nice.
That would be too OP. It's like the Klingons. Gotta bring the shields up, turn the cloaks off to fire. Ace, tier 2 tower, he'll take that one in the mid. Optic Gaming were already looking for something on the top lane, not in the mid lane. And Fada, once again, they are not wanting to waste any time with their entire team, and it's always a 5-man ball from Secret.
And the gold advantage is now 18k, so it's significantly higher than it was at, say, 30 minutes, but it's less impactful because the item disparity is different. Even though the number changes, the percent difference is different. Or sorry, more favoring Secret because they have just a better chance due to all the items they picked up. They're almost all 6-slotted. Who cares if you're behind?
Yeah, a lot of that extra gold's actually on CCNC, who's looking to finally build that BKB you were talking about.
A little late.
It's a little late, but right now he's running 2 sets of boots, so he can afford to lose one of these items.
Yep. And I almost think Optic might have played too safe. Lycan falls off, as does Night Stalker. These heroes are great, but at a certain point, once you can't kill Secret's heroes, who cares if you have a vision advantage? And they might have needed to end the game, and CCNC's lack of a BKB on that first and second Aegis push might come back to haunt them.
Yep, they really need to find these kills, but it's possible. 33 is going to build a Nullifier right now, so he's getting rid of the Medallion, and yeah, so Nullifier is up. Buyback money is still a little stretch, so Lycan's short, so is the Wind Ranger. Ember as well as Night Stalker have their buybacks.
And this is the benefit of having the PL Aegis. He can just play with Reckless Abandon, and everyone else on his team can play around him.
And he's still got the Heart and the Manta. There's a lot of ways for Ace to get away
smoke,
from Optic's initiation. Yeah, that smoke is a full pull around the back.
I like this play. Roche, Aegis only for 30 more seconds, but they do not see this coming.
There's
Keep
no
in mind,
one
there's always the
defending.
Uber.
They have to know. The die just scanned.
Uber
It just
on
pinged.
cooldown, 15 seconds.
It just pinged. They know. They know things are wrong. So here comes the jump. Vada, he's trying to take it for the rest of his team. Remember, he's still got the Greaves to pop out as now the attack comes through. PPD, he feels pretty hurt, but how they got the damage? Who's it going into? With the Sleight of Fist, it's all going into Team Secret. Vada will fall. The Death Ward's going to kill Puppy up the hill. He's on 8 HP. They find him in the corner. At least Ace is fighting strong, but then again, you've got no Aegis the Immortal. It timed out. He doesn't have anything to fight with. Ace can take a double kill, but Doppelganger, not enough left of him. Ace will go down. Mid one's the only survivor. And what did Team Secret really get out of that?
Not much.
No, they got no forced buybacks. They may have to use buybacks of their own to defend the high ground. I apologize to talking Crimson Guard, not Greaves.
I mean, that's just the great smoke from Optic there. I'm surprised Secret got caught with their pants down. I mean, Skywrath Underlord just get exploded. The Venge swap does nothing.
I believe the scan did ping, unless the scan ran out the very last moment before, because it was PPD that walked into it.
Yep. And that's the downside. They don't have the Uber out, so they don't even have the ability to get out of dodge. And they play so smart and disciplined for such a long period of time, and all of a sudden you're forced in a position. I think your PL's got a buyback, and I don't like that as well because PL had 7,000 gold in that fight. Sure, he is Aegis, but
Mid one.
no item to swap
Gets
in.
the Lincoln's off. Buyback comes in from the Underlord, but that's not enough life on the DK. He's got the cheese to use, as well as the BKB. CCNC's going to use his own, but they're just beating into that range racks. A little bit more difficult. Here comes that extra attack. Yapsaw. The Mystic Flares are down. They'll burn through the creep wave, but Pycat, now his BKB comes up. They have the pit. They have the control. Pycat's a very worthwhile kill, but he just burns the cheese. Mid one keeps up the attack. There goes that BKB. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, the Lycan is taking everything away from them. The Underlord wanted to go down there, but that didn't work out for him either. So Pycat will die. The godlike streak has been ended by Mid one, but Puppy is dying to Wolves and Necro units. Run away, Puppy. He has to swap with Fada to get into relative safety.
And you see, Mid one takes so much damage, and I really think it's this talent. He's missing 12 armor. He doesn't have a single armor item. That's a lot of EHP he's missing out. That's 60% more EHP against physical damage. He has 3,000 HP almost. Do the math.
And he's
I
still,
can't.
And he's still going for the MKB. So he's still committing to get more and more damage out of this Dragon Knight.
And you can see the difference maker, though, the Skywrath Mage. Still outputting tons of damage, but he has such a hard time staying alive. He's got 5 armor. He goes down to negative the moment the Lycan shows up with AC. And you mentioned Greaves. I'd love to see a Greaves on this Underlord. It's a critical item in a game like this. That's what renders his team invulnerable once they get down low below 25% or so. But the physical damage is just killing him right now. All 3 cores and the 4th core, really, Zai. It's all physical damage right now from Optic.
Yeah, this Wind Ranger is such an absolute beast. Every buyback available apart from PPD, so Team Secret, they're barreling down the mid with 5 heroes. Night Stalker's only dead for another 18 seconds, and Optic can definitely defend for that time. Even the power shot damage takes care of most of the dire creep wave. They just have to keep this catapult alive. And yeah, they know they can't go in. Roshan, potential spawn time, it's a quick one. 25 seconds now waiting for Roshan to come up. It's exactly what Team Secret need, but they need to do it quickly and they need to watch it. Yapsaw is now a perfect ward.
You got to spend your gold, I think, if you're Secret. They have so much gold right now on their cores.
They're walking away from it. They could send the courier back over. Roshan is now 7 seconds away. Optic, they're moving over. They'll look towards Roshan in just a second.
Man, I really want the Dragon Knight just to buy AC. I don't think buyback's going to change the game. If you give up Roche, I think your buildings are just going to die to some baits, but we'll see. 7,000 gold on DK. He just bought another
Swap, they pull him in, Mystic Flare, there's your deletion.
Yep.
Zai is out of the fight, Pycat stranded on the hillside for the moment. He's got his own nullifier he wants to put in. The double searing chains, Oz, 8 and Fada, they already start to pull back. They don't want to be involved in this engagement at all. But mid one had no other choice. The Lycan's too strong. Yapzor's on the run. Ghosted will buy him a little bit of time, but he needs more teammates. Yule Scepter is out. PL walking into multiple Yule Scepters. DK fights back. Penny TP'd the front lines in time. Yep, the walking is coming, but the damage from Pycat, he's just nullified the back line. It's triple buybacks from Team Secret, but the Death Ward is out. Fada is being burned so hard from this. I just don't see an answer right now from Team Secret. They're trying. Ace will jump in. They need a lot more Ace if they're going to win this. Agent Smith style at mid one. He will finally go down with the fighter fish from CNC. Too many dive backs. And this game, it belongs to Optic. Wait for that GG call. You know it's coming. PL is still there to try and fight. But PPD, with the Voodoo Restoration, they're giving the life back over.
Dude, DK is not supposed to die to Lycan this phase of the game. He doesn't have enough armor. It's that simple. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Dragon Knight does not have enough armor. And that's why he's dying. And honestly, I feel like that's a big part of the reason Secret's about to lose this game. He has no survivability. He's the guy, like, he bought a hood first. We're talking about how tanky he is. It's the core concept of Secret's lineup. Two incredibly strong strength heroes that never die, and then the PL to just, you know, be in and out and use his mobility. And they just don't have enough time. He died in a nullifier.
Yep. Optic are taking all 3 lanes of ranks. They're leaving nothing to chance. Zai just attacks so quickly too. So Megas are up for Optic Gaming. Yapzor's trying to hold the lines and do something to make Ace work. He already had the Abyssal Blade, but they call the GG as Ace runs in. So game 1 goes the way of Optic. It looked like for a bit the Team Secret were pulling this back after they battened down the hatches. They're like, we are going to survive this. And then no survival.
It's I hate to say it's all items, but I think both teams played a great game. They followed their script. Secret on the back foot for most of the game, but again, they were just waiting for that knockout punch. They get the third Roche, but a slight miscue bottom, get caught off guard. But you can't win a game if your star player, mid one, is just going to die to the offlaner. Not really the offlaner of Optic. Like, you can't. He had, with AC Aura, he had less than 20 armor. He's Dragon Knight. Do not skill gold per minute, guys. All
right. Well, on that note, Kyle, we're going to breeze ourselves over to the panel.
Glorious locks, Toby, indeed. Optic victorious in the first game they have against Team Secret. And this is, of course, in the upper bracket, meaning that if they win again, they get to be top 6. Now, Optic, of course, wants to be top 4 because then they're guaranteed to TI, but they definitely made a good showing for themselves here in this first game of the series, here with Trent, Sunsfan, and Gods. And Gods, you were the only one with a correct prediction. Congratulations, sir. What made you so confident in Optic?
Good question. I don't know. Sometimes you flip a coin and you're right. I believed in 33's Lycan. The game was very tough, though. It took him a long time to win it because these heroes were just so hard to kill. Dragon Knight with Hood BKB, Underlord with his damage mitigation, but you can say a lot, but you could tell Secret, like, they were stalling the game, but they never really felt like they were going to achieve anything.
Because the laning stage was very even, actually, Trent.
Yeah, it wasn't all too bad in terms of, like, I think you kind of expect some sort of a lead to come out there from Optic to begin, right? They started kind of racking up more and more. The kills were starting to go their way. But then the 3-3 Lycan, man, you know, I feel bad for ever doubting it. I was thinking more about, like, the Raven Lycan, maybe from earlier in the day. I should have been more about the Matu Lycan. This is obviously a classic for them, paired with the Night Stalker. Just very solid 2 cores to go alongside the Ember.
Pycat Night Stalker, oh my god, it's so juicy. Big, fat strength hero, so tanky. Hood, Vanguard, into Radiance. That's just like my dream come true. And then you have Underlord with basically the exact same build on the other side. Nobody could kill anyone. And even CCNC went super defensive. What was it? Yules, Lincolns, and Shivas. He wasn't doing any damage, and then he finally got Mjolnir, and then you could see just instantly the change in damage output.
And I think his lack of damage, though, heavily made up for it from Zai. One thing I hadn't considered during the draft, of course, is with the way that the ultimate now works for Wind Ranger. If you get some items, it is such a good counter to PL. It knows. It's got some magic thing in Wind Ranger's head that says, that is the correct PL. I will keep ulting him.
And
so
look at these shackles.
Yeah, that was a pretty great shackle.
yeah.
Great
That was
shackle.
the most important moment, probably, or one of the most important moments, at least, these Roche fights, right? This one, and then, of course, the third one especially.
A lot of usages of that Underlord ult this game as well.
Yeah.
Probably more than I've ever seen, actually.
I feel like they didn't have those big impacts. They didn't have a Helm creep to do like those cheekier kind of plays. They didn't have any sort of like a summons hero to maybe make those sort of side lane plays work. And not really a very offensive potential for the ulti.
No, they used it defensively
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, and then here, this is where things looked really good for Secret. Like, okay, there's Yaps, where he's got the Agnums. Look, we've already killed the Ember. We've killed the Witch Doctor. Fight's over. Secret one, mid one dies just before the Roche goes down. And maybe we'll be the ones to find out where the, the refresher shard, there it was, the Wind Ranger.
It was, I saw
Mystery
it.
Salt.
We were actually discussing that. We just saw it getting used. I mean, at this point, Zai, you know, sure, he's playing a support role, but he really was a core this game. And that is something that Secret lacked. Sure, that Skywrath would probably be very high up damage, but it's harass damage, not necessarily kill damage.
Yeah, and that's what Wind Ranger gave Optic in the late game. They can kind of chip at them and slowly poke them down with this Ember Spirit. Even the Lycan, at some point, his damage stats fall off against the Underlord. It was Wind Ranger who was securing them big kills later on.
And what happened was we have this kind of dual support issue where it is Zai putting the damage and Yaps are putting the damage, but who's a lot easier to kill? A Skywrath Mage who had to invest so much in the Agnum Scepter and then just the Ghost Scepter, or this guy who's got, you know, invisibility at level 20. Pretty irritating to
That
bring down
nullifier
Zai.
is super clutch, too.
Yeah.
Yes, those nullifiers coming into play, like, really, I think was the other big thing that changed the game. You mentioned the Mjolnir, but these nullifiers to stop heroes getting off BKBs, the Dispel against the Yules, the Ghost Scepters. Suddenly, these heroes are actually killable.
And this fight lasts forever. But once that Underlord, you know, dies back, he's the only one that's still left there for his team despite the buybacks. It's as good as over.
I think nullifiers get a little bit of a bad rap just because they're like so expensive, but they are this new item that now allows like a closeout. Like you're controlling the whole map, you're getting this big net worth lead, you need something to spend it on. Nullifiers are that thing that say, I'm winning, I'm going to get this item and take away what you've built.
Who gives it a bad rap?
No, I feel like the item just doesn't, you know, it hasn't gotten all the pickups.
I mean, it's
Think about
just
like old
super
Scythe.
expensive. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, but then you don't see it too often.
Well,
So-
the old Scythe people actually actively disliked for a while, right? Because it was just bad. They nerfed it into the ground, but I don't know.
What, nullifiers? Really? I
Nullifiers?
feel like
I
they
like-
don't get picked up that
I
much.
like
It has this
Nullifier.
bad build-up. Like,
Yeah.
Radiance
Look
is
at
a
the
similar
damage.
build-up, but you get it and you're like, you know you're going to farm more. You get this Nullifier and you're like, you got to get kills, or it's, why'd you get a Nullifier?
But it's game breaking.
Yes.
That's Skywrath damage, by the way. 30k. Same as the Ember Spirit on
Yeah,
the
pretty
other
good.
end.
Zai is the impressive numbers there. Playing a single target,
Yeah.
right-click hero, getting 28k damage. Ember, you know, you throw a Sleight of Fist, you get some lightning zaps, your damage is going to go up.
He
but-
definitely walks up his escalators, no doubt about it.
I would say.
Pretty beefy.
No doubt in
I
my
would say
mind.
so. Oi. The one question remains.
Mm.
Who is the MVP of this game?
It's,
Trent? You want to nominate someone?
I mean, I'll go with Zai. You know, I think it's tough to come out of that support role and really contribute that much to the team. And heading into
I
late
always
game,
pick
you know?
Zai anyway, so it's
Just
nothing
most
new
of the
for
time
me.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it was either him or the Lycan for
Yeah, I
me.
was
I
go-
would actually going to edge out. give it to
It's
Zai, too.
tempting to go with the Lycan because, like, you know he's going to do it. He got the Lycan, and he just does it anyway. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's no secrets, nothing hidden there. He gets
But
it right at the start of the draft.
They didn't win. Often you win the game in like 20, 30
Yeah.
minutes off of that. That didn't happen. You know, they hit this little roadblock, and
True.
Zai, he's the one who went smashing through it.
Yeah, you guys were, by the way, during when we were in agreement, you were very critical of CCC's skill build, by the way.
Yeah, item build. It wasn't a wasn't a
Item
fan.
build, sorry, yeah.
He went full defensive items. We saw at bottom lane, he even died when he had like all of these defensive items. To me, their hole in their draft was damage output. That's why Zai is our MVP, because he's the one who filled that gap. It felt like CCNC could have gone into more damage output early on. Daedalus type builds, something else could have come out from him maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think.
It's hard to judge. I think like you're kind of looking towards you have a Lycan and a Night Stalker who I mean the Night Stalker kind of built into damage in some ways, right? Like he went for this Radiance to try and again just bolster that up. You have a Lycan who's just all damage, so maybe there was sort of a communication of just like, yo, CCNC, you're getting focused pretty hard in these fights. You kind of do need this defensive thing. Like I think in a lot of those later engagements, he played a very good bait. Like he was up front and he had a Remnant back, and he would wait till he was like a quarter HP, kind of like he was gonna die. Then he'd Remnant out, and we get the follow back through.
I feel like that's like every game, though. I think they beat that into submission, into his head.
Yeah.
Build
No
defensive
matter what hero it is.
you play.
Well, it almost
Yeah.
looked like he was playing kind of like a puck hero, honestly, like where he's more so like a playmaker rather than the damage output, and he's sort of creating these good engagements for his team rather than this traditional like Battle Fury, Daedalus, slight
The important
three
thing
heroes and
is
kill
it
them.
worked,
It works.
technically speaking.
They
It
won.
worked for Optic. Optic won, which means Team Secret is with their backs against the rope to try and force out this third game in the series. And we're going to find out if they can do that in the second game, which will happen after this break.